Welcome to the Community Pulse, where we take the pulse of the community so we can take action.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Curry, and this is Community Pulse, where we take the pulse of the community so we can take action. And today I have with me, I'm delighted to have on the show today, is Mr. Dan Walsh from the Lifehouse. Mr. Walsh, say hello to our viewers.
Hello everybody, and thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it and enjoy being here. I'm Dan Walsh, as you mentioned, from Lifehouse Group. We have the largest recovery home in the Midwest with approximately 170 adult males in recovery. So it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be a partner of PCS.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here. And one of the reasons why we wanted people to get to know about your organization, because I personally, when it comes to substance abuse, the things that people need to do and the facility that you have. Tell us a little bit about your facility and where it's located.
So we're located in Dixmoor, Illinois, so in the south suburbs of Chicago, near Blue Island and Harvey. It's a very small town, but we've enjoyed a wonderful partnership with the village of Dixmoor. They've been very promotional to they've been very helpful with what it is we've tried to do. They've been a great community partner. We've built 2 community gardens with them. We do a lot of give back to the community. So it's been a great two-way street with the village of Dixmoor. Many locations don't necessarily want to have a recovery home in their backyard because they feel as though there's maybe a stigma against that, or it might bring some type of negativity to the community, but it's been very much the opposite of that in Dixmoor. It's been very positive, and most of the residents have been very welcoming to our efforts there.
And tell us a little bit about some of the programs that you have. If a person is looking to stop using drugs and alcohol, they would do what? What would be the process? What would be some of the things they would do first?
Well,
if they wanted to be a part of your program.
Sure. One of the things we've tried to do differently with Lifehouse that I hadn't seen necessarily done in the industry quite as much is to try and address all of the different individual issues that people have. So it's not just enough to keep somebody clean. If that were the case, then incarceration would work, and somebody would go in incarceration, they'd be clean for 5 years, they might come out, they'd be totally fine.
Very good point.
But that's not the case. And so even when you look at the standards within the industry, they don't consider incarceration time to be clean time. Mm-hmm. So they kind of consider that if you used the day before you got into prison, then you basically have been clean for a day when you get out of a 5-year prison term. So it's not enough to necessarily just keep them clean. So we want to try and offer a lot of different services to them. A lot of different recovery services. Some of them are relapse prevention, but then we also go into educational components. We also do a lot of workforce development, help people to reconfigure the skill sets that they already have to try and build new lives and a new community, and so a new family. And they can discover that new family at Lifehouse. They have the ability to discover the new connections that they've got and build new connections that are going to be lasting for many, many years. So that's kind of, we want this to be a long-term engagement. We want people to stay there for a while. The average length of stay is around 18 months. So we have people for a while so we can rebuild their skill sets.
Yes.
We build their skill sets with things like forklift driving, welding certifications, CNC manufacturing, different types of certifications that they can use that are tangible, that will help them to get their lives back on track.
And could you tell me a little bit about your team? Tell me about your staff. Who
Sure.
you got working for you, Dan?
And we have a lot of people who are very interested in trying to help people. I think that is the one common thread. They really care about the individual. They care about the humanity of them, and they really care about trying to improve their lives. So we have a number of people that live with us, and we have a number of people that actually have lived experience that work with us as recovery coaches, as support techs. We've hired a number of people that initially came to us as residents. And a number of them are doing some very, very important roles. And they're able to give back to the community that they so deeply care about because they have that understanding of what they're going through. So whether through lived experience, or I would say we have a lot of other employees and staff that have family members that have encountered difficult situations like this. So whether or not it's lived experience from themselves, it might be lived experience from a loved one or a relationship or a relative. but many of them have some type of a common thread that they understand they have an empathy for the people that are going through recovery again for many of them.
And what do you, if a person came to you, like by us having a partnership, you having a partnership with PCS and us doing a rap program with you. I remember one of the residents, when we did an informational, and he came up to me and he said that he had all this. I mean, he faced me off like this. He said he had all this mental health going on, and he wanted to know if that our program would work for him. With a person such as that particular individual and others, how do you help people who have mental health issues that come into your facility? They're off drugs now, but the mental health still exists.
Of course, yeah.
Mhm.
Co-occurring disorders are a major issue,
Yes.
and I think a huge majority of our clientele actually have co-occurring disorders. There have been studies that have said anybody who spent at least 3 months in incarceration probably has PTSD. Many of our clients at one time or another have been incarcerated for 3 months, whether recently or not recently. It is oftentimes, unfortunately, that the drug industry oftentimes ends up in incarceration. Whether that's the right treatment for it or not, that's the reality that we live with. So many of the people do have a co-occurring disorder. We do try and deal with that very much, except if you called something like CBT, it wouldn't necessarily draw people into a group, but you can go ahead and title them in ways that get people talking, and oftentimes by getting people active in things and getting them active, they will share things that they wouldn't otherwise share. Also, relatively recently, about a year ago, we recognized a need within the community for outpatient treatment, and so outpatient treatment is a higher level of a care component. But we recently opened last year. We opened up Lifehouse Behavioral Health in Blue Island, and that was really meant to directly help with people with those co-occurring disorders and with any type of outpatient treatment requirement. And of course, with the people that are arriving to us, many of them are coming from inpatient treatment centers where they're getting maybe 35 hours a week of inpatient treatment care. So dropping from 35 to 0 sounds like a pretty poor transition. So getting high quality outpatient treatment and then having it tailored to them so that it would be able to treat their individual mental illness perhaps as well as their substance use disorder, because you can't really de-link them. They kind of go hand in hand. And so if you're not treating one, if you're not treating both or all, what difference does it make in the end? So it kind of treats all of the above.
So you make sure that a person who may have mental health issues that need medications and so on, that they get what they need and they get to see psychiatrists and things like that.
Absolutely. We have partners that will do things like psychiatry and things that are more developed, like, for example, like prescriptions for any type of medication for that. We want somebody to achieve a level of stability. So if that stability is achieved through medication, that's great. Who are we to judge as to whether or not that's the right medicine for them?
Yes,
That's between them and their psychiatrist, and who are we to get in the way of that?
Yes.
So we want them to achieve a level of stability with whatever way that is. If that's medication, it's great. If it's not medication, it's great too. We'll work with them and try and help.
And I just want to note that the young man that I met at that time, he came through the RAP program, and I see him all the time now, and he's doing so well. His outlook is different. His smile is different. His appearance is different. He is happy about life, and I have to say to you that I so appreciate your program, because I recognize in the work that I do that people need a longer period of time than a 7-day, a 28-day, or even a 6-month to stabilize themselves after burning the many bridges that might have got burned along the way. And so I want to thank you honorably for being the founder and creating it and having a behavior health and different components. I also noticed that you have in your facility several computer labs. What goes on there?
We do a variety of things in those computer labs, and
Okay.
thank you for the compliments. I appreciate that. We try and meet people where they are, and we also recognize it's one of the founding principles that I have is that I don't want people to get in there and then rush to find a job. I want them to deal with their own recovery. I want them to deal with it on their own clock, and I want them to get back on their feet before they start worrying about work. And so we don't charge anybody in the early going. We want them to get back on their feet. We want them to be able to have the time to recover in their own terms before they have to get into that. Of course, when they're ready to get into that, we're using the computer lab for a variety of purposes. So we have a number of different educational purposes for the computer lab. It can be used for therapeutic purposes. It can be used for court dates. It can be used for the ability
to look these things up.
Right. I mean, imagine
Everything's online.
you might have a court date in Southern Illinois, and it might be a 4-hour trip through public transportation. Or we turn on a computer with a webcam on it, and we put you in a private space, and you're able to go ahead and do it right there. And so your commute starts 1 minute.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beforehand.
That's beautiful.
And then, of course, there are other times in which somebody might have one of our other partnerships with some of the court systems is that they'll have a random drug testing assignment. So oftentimes what that would mean is a 2-hour transportation, there and then 2 hours back, just to do a urinalysis test. Whereas we'll go ahead and just communicate with them and say we'll do it and give them the results, and everybody wins. They don't have any worry about where to find the person. It's a good partnership that we have with them. But as far as like the other educational programming, we brought Prairie State in, Governor State. They've come in on site. They've been excellent partners.
We have a lot of training programs.
They brought their own CNC.
Talk about that. Yes.
Right. They brought their own CNC machine in so they could do CNC
What's the
training.
CNC machine?
It's like CNC CAD design, so it's essentially like a lot of manufacturing type stuff.
Okay.
And they're able to go ahead and train them for it right in our building, and so their commute is down the hall. So it's a really easy pathway as opposed to bringing a dozen residents over there. We bring one teacher over and just put the CAD machine and the CNC machine in our computer lab, and boom, we can train 12 people and they get licensed and accredited. An entire career pathway without actually leaving their hallway, which is a great opportunity to rebuild your life in a meaningful way. So we do a number of different computer trainings in there. We do everything from job search to resume writing to there are a number of things that we do with the computer lab. Obviously, having computer labs, we also have a 3D printing lab within the computer lab upstairs.
Oh, see, I've never been upstairs.
You gotta go.
Tell me more.
Tell
me more. I've never
people
been
can.
upstairs.
One of our goals
I'm
is
gonna
to
go
have-
up there now.
Well, they can design their own things and then print them right there, and you understand
Really?
how quickly you can do it. So around Christmas time, we oftentimes will have a Christmas tree in each of the wings, and people can go and 3D print their own Christmas tree ornaments, and they can go ahead and put them up on their tree. And then
I was there for Christmas.
Okay.
Oh,
There you
it
go.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. The hallways, it was, the cheer was on. The cheer was on. It was nice.
That's another important thing, I
It was
think, to make
uplifting.
it feel like a home-like environment, and that's really important for a recovery home to me. It's somewhere where you feel like a part of the community. I think is so important. So I've tried to get rid of all of the white walls and any type of thing that looks very antiseptic or institutionalized, and try and make it look like a home-like atmosphere. We also have 3 dogs that are therapy dogs that live in the building.
They catch me all the time.
They will, whether you like them to or
they're
not.
beautiful dogs though.
But they're all hypoallergenic, and
Very nice dogs.
it's like go see a case manager and go hang out with the dog. Or if you want to promote exercise, you can just sign out one of the dogs and go take Layla for a walk for half an hour.
Yes.
It's good for Layla, it's good for you.
Therapeutic.
It's a therapeutic type of a thing. So the different types of things, the decorations, the warmth within the building, I think comes from the culture, the staff, the decorations, the entire environment all contributes to it. And so I think it's a good opportunity to try and make a home-like atmosphere by celebrating the holidays. Because oftentimes the holidays can be very sensitive times for people that don't have a very good family support base.
Absolutely. And another thing that first of all, for all our viewers, I got to tell you, this building is truly state of the arts. When you turn the corner, and you leave like a factory-like environment when you're coming down the road, and when you turn the corner into Lifehouse, and you say, "Wow, all of this is back here." It's amazing. And the other thing that I saw in the building too was that there were a couple of areas in the hallway that had flowers growing under this lighting. Like indoor planting of different flowers that
Aeropods.
what are they called?
Aeropods.
Aeropods?
Aeropods.
Aeropods, yes, all through the building. And another thing that I enjoy when I come to the building is you have I don't know how you probably can tell the audience what footage is that TV that has all the activities that can possibly, so if you wake up one morning, and this is very important to a recovered addict, to never wake up with nothing to do.
Right.
Okay. And they say an addict alone is in poor company. So it's very good that they could wake up and you have a huge cafeteria area, and there's always food along the wall of different types, and you can pick up different things to eat. But that board has so many activities on that board. Where did you get that board from? How did that happen?
Yeah, we recognize that idle hands are not good, especially in the early stages of this. We want to give them something to do, and so the mandate from being a recovery home is that we have to offer 5 hours of services per week. That's it. We have about 100.
Yes.
So we offer a lot. One of the benefits of having 170 people in one building is, let's say, for example, there are 10% of the people that are interested in one individual topic. Maybe it's art class. That's 17 people. We have enough to do it.
Yes,
If you have a 16-person house, that's 1 to 2 people, and you don't have an art class. So the beauty of it is that people can kind of find their community. They find their home within, and so we offer a lot of different things. So any given day, we have 10 to 20 hours worth of things to do. So no one's ever going to say I have run out of things to do.
Yes.
So we have those. We have a TV on each of the 4 housing wings, and then we also have one in the resource hallway. So 5 TVs that are
5
broadcasting.
TVs of that same size.
Yeah, that are broadcasting basically everything that's happening today and tomorrow, and maybe something really important 2 days from now. And so at any given time, and during the course of the day, that cycle will change. And so somebody could always walk by. If you're walking down the hallway, you're gonna run into the TV. If you're walking out of your wing, you're gonna run into the TV. If you're walking into the wing, you're gonna run into the TV. So every time you go by, you're gonna see a cycle of all of the things that are going on in the next 6 hours.
Okay.
And so if you're ever wondering what's going on now, check out the TV. It's not far. You're never more than 50 feet away from a TV, so go for it.
That is so beautiful. And one of the things you said earlier I want to mention too is that it has so much credence is the fact that that you allow people to have to exhale from being on the street and everything that happened from the trauma that happened. They can exhale without rushing right into employment, because with the addict recovering, money is a mood changer. So a person could get a fabulous job and be on the street the next week.
Absolutely.
So giving people time to recover themselves, and when I do rap programs in your facility, I say what we're studying here is the University of Self, and that's what I see at Lifehouse. That you're giving them an environment that's almost like a college campus, an indoor college campus, for them to find themselves, find other people, and not be alone in their journey. And you become a part of their village.
Right. And they become part of
very
yours.
stable part of their village. I applaud you for that. It's excellent. I really do. I have to tell you, I'm so impressed. I enjoy going to that building all the time, and to see how everything is so systematic, but yet comfortable, and the smiling faces and people knowing that they can make it. They can make it.
Well, and I think success of the individual becomes contagious, and they start to see the people who are walking this step in front of them.
Yes,
and they see
and I want to be like that. I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Mike.
I've had a number of people that have come to me and just said, "Man, I wish this place was here 20 years ago, because I would have saved myself 20 years of my life."
Yes.
And I have a number of other people. Probably every other week, I'll run into somebody that says, "I've never been clean as an adult for 3 months. I just hit 6 months, and I don't even know what to do with myself." And that's inspirational. I mean, that's what it is. We're here for it. But then other people see that. They say, I'm in the shoes of somebody who's never been clean for 3 months as an adult. That's the same thing that guy was too. And he just hit 6 months. And then the guy
gives you hope. It's a hope shot.
And the guy at 6 months sees another guy ahead of him in a year and says, I could be that guy. And then pretty soon they do become that guy. And it becomes contagious. And so I think once it starts to roll, it starts to become contagious upon itself. And to speak to your earlier point about people trying to get money when they first arrive, that's something we saw in the early going of this. There would be people that arrive, and on day 2 they would want to wash your car for $20, and then the question is, what do they do with the $20? And oftentimes they would go down to the local gas station, and they knew exactly where to find their score. And it was to the point where we kind of just banned working in the early stages, and so we strongly discouraged people from actually getting money in their pocket until they knew they would do something productive with it, because money at an earlier stage of recovery will send you sideways, and it is dangerous until you know what it is that you're going to spend it on and actually do something productive with it. But we've had people that have moved out with $30,000 in savings.
Wow.
Because it doesn't really cost them much to live with us. They don't really have a lot of expenses. And
That
so,
is wonderful.
I mean,
Savings for the first time. Because
Right.
that's one of the things that I hear all the time when I'm, doing the classes and chatting with different members of participants, that they're getting, like one guy said when he came to the rap graduation, he said he had never graduated from anything
Yeah.
before in his life.
Right.
And I looked at him and I said, how old are you? He said, 35. And then later on, we got a chance to talk, and he talked about the fact that he had left school in the 8th grade and that he called his mother to share with her that he had graduated and show his certificate. And she said the mother cried. She cried. That her son, I get a chill that her son was on his way. I'm sure that that's what the mother felt.
Right.
The son was on his way. So when I think about Lifehouse, there's so many good things that I could say about your place and the boardroom. Everything is so many facets going on. And I want to talk about the cafeteria.
It's the multi-purpose.
And I don't know how much more time we have, but I want to talk about the cafeteria and the fact that area, that it's hot food. It's not, sandwiches that you provide in the facility when people come in, that they get home. You have cafeteria staff that are cooking and packing and just, and when we have graduations, the tables are covered. You make a big deal out of everything. The tables are covered and there's ice cream, there's cake, people feel elated, so they want to reach the next level if they can.
And the more that we can do to inspire more people to want to follow in those footsteps, we want to do it. And we have our workforce development program is called the Snap to Success program. It's a partnership through the USDA.
Mhm.
They work through Illinois DHS. But the Snap to Success program, you can go ahead and get forklift driving certification. There's CNC or manufacturing, or different types of welding. You could be 3 years from now, you could be making $70,000 a year and an apprentice and getting great benefits and go into a trade union. I mean, that's life changing for somebody that enters with no skills. And so when people graduate from the Snap to Success program, we have a graduation. And
I've been to different graduations.
Yes.
Very nice.
And we try and go all out for it.
All
It's a big
out.
deal.
And the staff comes and it's just like your parents are in the house,
Right.
like it's very nice. It's very uplifting.
I remember at the last event that we had, I talked about it, and I remember that some of my kids are a little bit older now. My youngest is in 7th grade, but I remember they had a graduation in kindergarten. I remember saying, like, why do you have a graduation in kindergarten? And they said, well, how many graduations do you get in your life? I thought about it. I said, well, you get kindergarten, I guess. You get 8th grade.
Okay.
You get high school, and maybe college. And,
Right.
And that's it. That's all. And so for many of the people, the last time some of them graduated, as you mentioned, might have been kindergarten, might have been 8th grade, might have been high school. That might have been 30 years ago for some of these people. And they're investing in themselves. And so they should be proud of this. And to make them commemorate the occasion, let's make a big deal out of it. Let's go ahead and have the graduation and commemorate the effort that you put into bettering yourself. And that
the sense of
inspires
achievement is so fundamental to a self-worth and self-esteem.
Yeah, and we give them a diploma and they put it up on their wall. And they'll hold that, many of them hold that for a long, long time. And it's a big deal to them. And I think we should make it a big deal to them.
And also, a lot of times with recovering individuals, it's hard for them to recover because, and the reason why they could throw away everything is because they didn't have anything to lose.
Right.
So to begin to build that stepping stone, and in the classes that I come over, I co-sign with you, and I speak about Lifehouse in the class, and this is the last house on the block. We got to get it right. We're here now, and the fact that you can get free training through different programs, programs, so much free training out here. And I encourage your participants to get a training that you may work under someone for a time period, but you can also work for yourself.
Sure, yeah.
Get one of those kind of trainings,
right,
so that you get CDL, so that you can get your own truck and so on. Eventually be able to be a sole proprietor yourself. And so I really appreciate everything that you're doing. And the last portion I'm going to talk about is quickly is that you do something with employment every month. I think you all do job fairs.
Yeah,
Talk
we
about
do.
those job fairs.
Yeah,
Twice a month, I think.
Yeah, Ernest is amazing. He put together the job fairs, and we've continued to grow. I think the first job fair that we had something like 9 employers, and it was held at our own building.
Mm-hmm.
Now the most recent ones that we've had have all been between 50 to 60 employers, and now we've long outgrown our building. And watching the number of people that show up to them, it's like a beacon of the south suburbs. And we put together like 50 to 60 employers that.
And y'all have food too.
And we bring food. It's a great motivator to
bring
food to some of these things.
It's great.
We do a number of community events in which we bring food. We sponsor every Tuesday. There's a local community youth football program in Dixmoor, and we help to sponsor it by giving them food afterwards, and not just for the kids, also for their parents. And so all of a sudden, all the parents now are showing up. It's great, but it's a great community bonding experience. And so we provide food at these the job fairs, and that encourages people to show up and encourages the employers to show up. The more that we can do to try and get more employers coming into the south suburbs and hiring, and oftentimes a huge majority of these are background friendly. So people that have like a background, obviously some are different than others, but people that have a background are not necessarily going to have every door shut in their face, and they're going to have opportunities to get hired and get employment on the spot. So employment is a big barrier within this community, and people don't necessarily have faith in their own ability to get a job, but their own ability to keep a job. And so the more you can keep them stable, the more you can keep them employed. The more you keep them employed, the more it keeps them stable. So it kind of works unto itself. So
and you even do expungement clinics. So
we do. Yep.
You're covering all the bases,
right?
And we're happy to have you in our community. And I want as we end this podcast, and for you to let everybody know where you are. You say in Dixmoor, give the address and the phone number. How can the person that is sitting out in the audience that says, I want to get my life together, I want to come to the Lifehouse.
Yeah,
What is the address and what is the telephone?
Sure. So our website is www.lifehouse-group.com. We also have a behavioral health website, lifehousebhs.com. That's in Blue Island. So you can always get a hold of us there.
Yes.
Our location in Dixmoor is 14127 Levitt Avenue. We're kind of tucked away in a little corner of Dixmoor, which is perfect because when we were trying to get our business license, our neighbors were a tow lot, a used car parts, and I-57. So no one was really too much complaining about it, which is almost kind of required in our backyard. And then our outpatient treatment clinic is in Blue Island on basically 127th and Western Avenue. And you can come there just for, you don't need to be going to both. You can go to one or the other. It's not like something that's uniquely exclusive, but feel free to reach out.
Did you say the phone number?
So it's 708-897-8581 is the one for the recovery home. I don't have the one for BHS memorized, unfortunately.
Okay, well call 708.
708-897-8581.
And they will let you know.
They will let you know.
Okay, well we're going to take some action. This is the pulse that we need for our community to take action. And this is PCS, Proactive Community Services, and we're signing off right now. Come and see us again.